Edie wants to know, can you cover FDA approval? Do you have to have FDA approval? And just kind of talk a little bit about the three-letter agencies. Are those things that we should be afraid of?
Yeah, no, I don't think you should be afraid of them at all, actually. And I think that they're necessary. And I'm not one of those guys like you see some of those lightning rods out there bashing the government. The government has a purpose, and those agencies are there to protect consumers. Okay, and that's a good thing. You are not required to get any kind of approval from the Food and Drug Administration, from the FDA, to launch your product. We are guaranteed access to dietary supplements through by Congress here in the United States by a law that was passed called the DSHEA Act in 1994 that guarantees that we have access to dietary supplements as consumers. And somebody was chiming in earlier saying, Codex is coming, and all these kinds of things. But we have and it's been challenged. It's been protected time and time again, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. So we have, for the categories that I just listed, such as joint health, cognitive health, digestive health, etc., we are guaranteed access to those supplements, and you can formulate high-quality products without having to go and get permission from the FDA. What they require you to do is to make claims that are substantiated, so they're backed by human clinical studies, by clinical study, and that you do not make drug claims. In other words, that you don't claim that you're curing cancer, you don't claim that you're curing diabetes. So there's a line that's drawn where some people have stepped over that line, and then they get in trouble. The FDA will send them an action letter, or they'll call in the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, to shut you down because you're advertising and making claims via advertising channels that way, and that can get you in trouble. Okay, and sure, companies have done that and they've gotten in trouble. What I teach is how to do it properly, how to formulate properly. The only thing you have to do when you formulate a product is just assemble the claims that you're going to make. What it is that you're going to say it does, and you send a simple form letter to the FDA. That's it. You're not waiting for an approval. You just submit the letter, and your responsibility is done. Okay, and that's a beautiful thing, and we're going to continue to enjoy that sort of unfettered access to these high-quality supplements. And like I said, the market is going in and buying with open arms.
If you're based in the UK, say, how can you set up a company in the US?
Very easy. I have a one-stop solution that you can get on the phone with this resource that I have in my Rolodex, and they will, like I said, it's a one-stop solution to get you set up with the entity, bank account, and merchant processing.
And I envy you if you're in a different country, because you get all kinds of tax advantages that we cannot enjoy here as U.S. citizens. So you should count your blessings. To being able to start a U.S. business and not be a U.S. entity. All right.
So Michelle was asking a good question. Could we ship from Australia also? Yeah, you could ship from Australia. Shipping products into the U.S. could be a little more, a dicier proposition for you. I think you could do it direct to consumer, but your costs. Your cost basis may be higher. I know that manufacturing costs are higher in Australia for supplements than they are in the U.S. That's the other big advantage, is that you can get products manufactured much cheaper in the U.S., high-quality products in the U.S. than in other countries. I'm working with some Australian students. I can validate that it is more costly to manufacture in Oz than it is in the U.S. So I think there's a lot of advantages, Michelle, for you to work with a U.S. manufacturer, get your product manufactured here, and ship from the U.S. to other countries. Cool. You're welcome. Oh, Indra said that they're in. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Very good. And they're saying there's some content. Are you guys still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there's
Yep.
someone saying the content in your Facebook group isn't showing. I guess you're following up with the folks.
Yeah, you
on
know
the
what?
Facebook.
I messed up with that link. If you want me to deliver that, just let me know. I've delivered the correct link to everybody. But if you're in and you want me to deliver that bonus to you tonight over in the Facebook group, happy to do it. Just type "you're in" and I'll give you that correct link.
Yeah.
Sorry about
And
that.
obviously be honest about it, because we'll verify on the other end. But that's congratulations, Indra. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. I think Indra was the last. Just closed out the 30. You know what? I tell you what. While I'm on the line right now, anyone that is in, while I'm on the line right now, I'm going to extend my one-on-one consultation with you. Okay?
Wow.
So we'll just ignore the 10 limit for now. If I'm on the line, you hear my voice, you're in with me, okay, to talk to me, as well as obviously for the Health Profits Summit Live. So you're going to get both fast mover bonuses guaranteed if you hear my voice live right now, and I'm live with you at the moment. So
Wow, thanks, buddy. And what you need to do right now is click on the link in the chat box. Buck's keeping the door open for that bonus. It was the first 20 people, I believe. That has run its course. He is full up. But if you can hear my voice right now, you can still jump in and access that 30-minute consultation with Buck himself and the free ticket to Health Profits Live event in Boulder, Colorado. Can't wait to see you there. Click on the link in the chat box and you can lock it in, but you have to hurry up because we are not going to be on for much longer. In fact, we're going to be jumping off very soon, so time is definitely of the essence at this point. Let me put it to you. Okay, if you are sitting on the fence at this point, you're going back and forth, you know that these bonuses are time sensitive, they're going to run out, okay? It's just a matter of whether you jump in right now or not. What is it that's preventing you from jumping in? What's holding you back? Why are you still sitting on the fence? Now's the time to get your questions answered. Go ahead and type in the chat box and let me know. I call it a deal breaker. What's your deal breaker? What's preventing you from jumping in to the warm waters of your brand new health and wellness company, just like Buck has created, just like dozens of his students have created in a very short period of time? Type in the chat box. Let us know. I'm here. James is here. Buck is here. We're here to service you, but you have to take the next step. Let us know what is your deal breaker so that we can answer it live on the call before we drop off.
that's a great question.
How do you establish credibility if you're not a doctor or if you don't have a doctor as a partner, as Buck does?
Yeah, I don't have any special credentials for the health industry, and I launched my first multi-million-dollar business without a doctor. Is there advantage being a doctor or working with a doctor? Sure, right? And you can leverage that person, name and likeness on your advertising, but it's not required. And I have several industry friends as well. You saw that one quote from Jesse Canone, who runs LoseTheBackPain.com. I have another gentleman, Joe Barton, who runs Barton Publishing, who also sells supplements or recommends supplements to his customers. So great, Jesse is a high school dropout and washout of the U.S. military. Joe Barton was a struggling accountant and built a multi-million-dollar business. And then later on, was able to find a doctor through going to various conferences and things like that. Partnered with a doctor and just pays that doctor a monthly fee in exchange for using that person to endorse his products. So he reviews and endorses his products. So there's a lot of different ways to go about this business. You don't need a doc or health practitioner or a health credential to get started and be successful. And then if you want to have a doc or have someone endorse your products, people will there's a lot, tens of thousands of doctors out there that are looking for these kinds of additional income opportunities for with high quality businesses that are willing to put their name and likeness and endorse products. So that's when we first talked to Dr. Siskind, who works with me, that was my initial conversation with him was, gee, we'd like to have you, maybe for a royalty, we'd like to have you endorse our products. And he said, you know what, I'm so excited about what you guys are doing, because we were going to launch Real Dose Nutrition without Steve. So I'm so excited about what you're doing. I just want to buy in and be a full partner. So, and the other interesting thing is that I know that there's several folks that came to Health Profits Live, the Health Profits Summit event, because a number of doctors are in Health Profits Academy. They're coming to the live event as well. So there's going to be some medical doctors that are looking to partner with people and that have, in some cases, some of those partnerships have already been forged from the first event, and then we're going to have another fresh round of health practitioners in the next event. So anyway, hopefully that answers the question for you. Absolutely not necessary to get started.
Approximately how much inventory and the cost?
Yeah, I mean, I would start small. And by the way, one of my suppliers, and this is someone that only works with my students. It's a company that sells through the doctor channel, but because I have an academy where I'm teaching students to do this the right way, they've agreed to make their private label products that they sell through docs available to my students. And they have order minimums as low as 12 units, plus they have a drop ship program. So effectively, you don't even have to keep inventory. So hopefully that answers the question for you. If you're running a business like mine, where you have you're servicing thousands of customers a month, then obviously there's a formula that you follow to have enough inventory on hand so that you can address the lead time to get products manufactured.
Buck, you just said something that I want to highlight and maybe get a little more information about, because I didn't realize this. You said drop shipping. So there's companies that will drop ship supplements?
Yeah, there's one in particular that I feel really good about, and I have in my inventory that actually gave a presentation to my students that's in the members area, and then I make introductions to them, and they're willing to drop ship a private label version of their products.
Wow.
They have 300 products they're willing to
exciting
for you.
Can you please, just for people who don't know, can you explain what drop shipping means?
Yeah, in this case, it means that not only will they print up your label and put it on their product for you, but they will maintain a quantity on hand of your labeled products in their warehouse. And then when you send them an order, you're going to send it to them electronically. They're going to then pick, pack, and ship that order for you direct to your customer. So it's basically they're providing the fulfillment capability as well as doing the private label for you.
Wow.
Private labeling for you in one shot. And
it's all on your custom label.
Yes.
That's pretty amazing. I might be rethinking my business model because of this.
I don't think that they have pet supplements yet, but that's but for humans they have 300 products. Mm-hmm. So
wow, great stuff, man.
Someone just said, Janice just said she's in. Congratulations, Janice. You get to talk to me, and we'll be seeing you in Boulder. Awesome. Kirsten's asking, will this training be available again at a later date? It will not be available again this year. We may open it up again sometime next year, Kirsten. Okay.
Sorry, Buck. I'm just going back through the questions, seeing if we missed anything here. I've got Jay and I have been flagging the questions, by the way. If you see them, we've got red flags and green flags.
Oh, okay.
The green flags are the questions that have not been asked yet. The red flags means that we've answered them.
All right, very good. You guys are more sophisticated than me.
Here's a good one. Here's a really good one. This is right up your alley too, because you talked about the importance of quality ingredients. So how do you tell if the ingredients are low quality?
Well, obviously it'd be very difficult to tell just by looking at them, right? So the process that I go through is number one, because I've been doing this for 10 years and I know who the top distributors are and I know the process they go through to vet ingredients. And in fact, I know many of the laboratories that they work with, that they source the ingredients from. You work with trusted distributors and manufacturers. One of my manufacturers that I work with actually maintains 4,000 different ingredients on hand for manufacturing of supplements. And there's a whole process that they go through to make sure there's the certificate of analysis, that the ingredients have gone through an intake process, that they have been tested by a third-party lab, that they're free of contamination, that they have the actual active components in them that they're supposed to have in them. So all those steps and check boxes are checked to make sure that you have not only the right ingredient and that it's safe and that it's going to be at the right dosage. Okay, so that's you as the layperson are not going to be able to just figure out how to do that on your own. That's why I provide, I provide the Rolodex of who to work with, and then I actually tell you exactly what are the things you pay attention to in case you wanted to go and do it yourself. One thing that in fact, I just had a nice little meeting with about a half dozen of my students in Florida at the Ingredient Marketplace show. So I list out the shows that I go to. I do little meetup groups sometimes when I go to these events. And in some cases, I walk them around and I show them the different distributors that I work with to source the ingredients. Really exciting stuff.
And then we have someone now following up, and someone else that wants to know about the support for the group, as you were talking.
So I have the weekly. I do have a support at healthprofitsacademy.com for you to get basic questions answered, and then I have the live Q&A calls, and we run those calls. People love them. This is not a short call. This is a call to I make sure I get all of your questions answered. And what I like to do is, in my case, we use GoToWebinar as the platform. It's a very intimate environment, and I bring people on the line for the people that want to talk. I love bringing them on the line, hearing their voice, getting like Michelle, could be there, get your question answered, have me talk to you directly, and learn a little bit more about your business, and maybe even make it a little mini hot seat. So those opportunities are there. Plus, I have the email support at healthprofitsacademy.com. And of course, if you want the other live call with me, it is going to be your 30-minute one-on-one consultation with me as well. Plus, we have the forum, and there's a lot of peer collaboration and assistance because there's other people that are further along with their businesses than you are. So you get a chance to connect with them, get some feedback, and the forum is another great place to get a lot of support.